when that 47-foot birdie putt dropped on the back nine at the Annika Pro-Am. The sound you heard wasn't just applause. It was a gasp, the sound of the golf world realizing they had just witnessed the impossible. Caitlin Clark, the same woman who rewrote basketball's record books, had just crushed a golf record that stood for years. And make no mistake, this was no lucky swing. It was surgical precision from an athlete proving she can master any game she touches. Her scorecard told one story. A blistering round of 61, the lowest ever by a non-professional female athlete in a sanctioned pro-am. But the real story? What this performance revealed about the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, and why even LPGA legends were running out of words. Let's break it down. And hey, before we dive in, tap subscribe if you believe the story behind the stats matters. You're watching WNBA Shorts. This wasn't some casual celebrity outing. Caitlin Clark didn't show up for photos. She came to compete. The Annika Pro-Am, named for the great Annika Sorenstam, pairs top LPGA pros with high-profile athletes. Most celebrities just try not to embarrass themselves. Caitlin changed the conversation the moment she stepped on the tee. To understand why, rewind to West Des Moines, Iowa. Long before she was the face of women's basketball, Caitlin spent weekends at local golf courses with her father, Brent Clark, a passionate golfer who taught her the game before she turned 10. Family friends still talk about how she attacked her swing with the same obsession she later applied to her jump shot. In an old interview, Caitlin said, "I loved how golf challenged me mentally. It's just you, the ball, and the wind. That mindset, shutting out noise, focusing under pressure. That's championship DNA. It isn't sport-specific." Even during her record-breaking seasons at Iowa, she appeared at charity golf events. Observers noticed her swing wasn't a hobby. It was smooth, powerful, technically clean, the kind of motion coaches spend years refining. By the time she entered the WNBA, golf had become her mental reset. But what happened at the Annika Pro-Am elevated that pastime into legend.
The LPGA will have a little bit more extra attention. That will be in a couple of weeks, Amy. That's when Caitlin Clark plays at a Pro-Am at the Annika, driven by Cambridge. If you haven't heard already, this is a big deal, Amy, but how big of a deal is this for the tour?
If you haven't heard already, you've probably been living under a rock, because anything that Caitlin Clark does seems to just transcend all of sports and news. And we've seen tons of reporting. So in terms of this being important for the LPGA, I think it's already achieved its objective so far in terms of garnering attention for the LPGA. We've seen reports not only about her being in the field at the Pro-Am, but we've seen subsequent reporting then about her taking lessons in preparation for this Pro-Am. So their game's in great shape. And then additional reporting about who she's going to play with. She's going to play alongside Nelly Korda and Annika Sorenstam. And so it's been a huge win already for the LPGA in terms of publicity. Now, what the LPGA does with this going forward, that remains to be seen. But given Clark and her love of golf, saying, she was going to go off and become a professional golfer, I think there's an opportunity here for the LPGA to capitalize and maybe make this into more of a partnership that could benefit both sides beyond just this one-off.
Clark, Korda and Sorenstam in the same group. Are you kidding me? That is so good. Well, speaking of...
When Caitlin walked onto the first tee that morning, most fans came for selfies and smiles. By the 7th hole, that mood flipped. This wasn't entertainment, it was dominance. On the par 4 7th, 347 yards out, she unleashed a drive that rolled to within 10 yards of the green. A 337-yard bomb with perfect trajectory and roll. Commentators on site said what everyone thought. That's not impressive for a basketball player. That's world-class golf. Every motion showed discipline. Thousands of hidden hours. And then came the moment that froze the fairway. A 47-foot birdie putt that curved like one of her deep-range threes. The gallery erupted. "Let's go, Caitlin!" echoed across the course. Her playing partners, world #1 Nelly Korda and major champion Brooke Henderson, could only laugh in disbelief. Even Annika Sorenstam herself walked over, smiling. "You just made that look too easy." Coming from a legend with 72 LPGA wins and 10 majors, that's not casual praise, that's coronation. By day's end, Caitlin Clark signed a 61, the lowest score ever, by a celebrity participant in event history. But it didn't stop there. That score also broke the official Guinness World Record for the lowest by a non-professional female in a sanctioned Pro-Am. Another record, another sport, another chapter in the Caitlin Clark legend.
Yeah, I didn't know that until my little brother sent it to me this morning. I think it's super cool. I think it probably shouldn't have been the first woman to ever win that award in my eyes, just because, I grew up supporting so many different, female athletes that I idolized and I loved, and the amount of records that I saw people break and win. Like, to me, like, how did Serena Williams never win that award? Like, that's crazy. Like, just thinking about things like that. But, I mean, hopefully it's the start to, women getting more recognition and, their accomplishments being recognized a little bit more. But, obviously it's cool. But yeah, I think it's not something you would have guessed, honestly. But for me, it's just something I'm really grateful for.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Within hours, social media caught fire. ESPN led with it. The Golf Channel interrupted coverage. Sports Illustrated splashed the headline. Caitlin Clark's golf highlights break world record. Clips of her drives and that calm smile under pressure went viral across TikTok. Instagram and X fans wrote, "First, she breaks basketball, now she's coming for golf." Another joked, "She's Tiger Woods and Steph Curry in one body." Then, the ultimate validation. Tiger Woods himself posted, "Athleticism and focus like that transcend sports. Congratulations, Caitlin Clark. What a round." When Tiger Woods salutes your swing, you've entered rarefied air. In the 48 hours following that record round, the LPGA's social media gained more than 300,000 new followers. The Annika Pro-Am replay pulled its highest viewership ever, and the surprise, the demographics shifted. A surge of younger fans, especially women, suddenly tuned into golf. One fan wrote, "I started watching golf because Caitlin Clark was playing. Now I'm hooked." Another said, "Caitlin makes golf feel cool." This isn't just celebrity influence, it's cultural transformation. Analysts call it the Caitlin Clark effect, the measurable boost her presence gives to any sport, any league, any platform. Even LPGA insiders admitted, "We've never seen engagement like this. Stars shine, forces change the landscape. And Caitlin Clark is a force." When word spread, legends lined up to praise her. Nelly Korda said, "Caitlin's swing is pure. Rhythm, strength, and calm. I'm not saying she should turn pro, but she could compete." Annika Sorenstam called her round a masterclass in focus and adaptability. Those two words, focus and adaptability, perfectly define her entire athletic identity. They're why she was the most dominant college player ever and the most impactful WNBA rookie in history. The basketball world chimed in too. Sue Bird posted, "She's out here rewriting record books in another sport. Unreal." Steph Curry added, "I see you, Caitlin. Welcome to the club." Then he publicly invited her to his annual underrated golf charity tournament, saying he'd love to team up. Fans instantly exploded online. Curry and Clark on one team would break the internet. They're probably right. But beyond the viral buzz, this story reveals something deeper. Caitlin Clark's greatness isn't confined to basketball because excellence itself is transferable. The discipline that sinks a game-winning three under pressure is the same discipline that drains a 47-foot putt with cameras rolling. Sources inside the golf world are already whispering. Major brands want Caitlin as an ambassador. If that happens, she could become the first athlete with simultaneous top-tier endorsement deals in both basketball and golf. After her round, she stayed humble. "I just wanted to have fun out there," she said. "Golf relaxes me, but I guess the competitor in me never turns off." That's authenticity, the mark of someone driven by passion, not hype. From breaking basketball records at Iowa to breaking golf records beside Annika Sorenstam, Caitlin Clark keeps asking one question: why not me? And every time, she proves there's no reason why not. Could she one day compete in a real LPGA event? Golf experts think it's possible. Her swing mechanics are professional grade. Her mental game, elite. If she trained seriously during WNBA off-seasons, some coaches believe she could qualify within a few years. Would you watch Caitlin Clark tee it up against the pros? Millions already said yes. And that's not speculation, that's data. So if you want to stay ahead of the next chapter in the Caitlin Clark story, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because every time she steps onto a new stage, history follows. This is what greatness looks like when it refuses to be contained. Caitlin Clark now breaking records, changing sports, and inspiring millions, one swing at a time. You've been watching WNBA Shorts, bringing you the stories behind the highlights. See you in the next one.